Hey, my YouTube friends and family. Hey, I'm back with a video today. Man, we're in the middle of the 2026 ice storm. I think they're calling it Fern. But fortunately, we didn't lose power. We stayed warm. We stayed safe. For all those out there who have lost power, prayers and thoughts go out to you. Hopefully things will get back to you normal real soon. But today, I decided we're going to do a cold weather cook. It's going to be oxtails in the Instant Pot. Simple, easy. If you have an Instant Pot, you can't go wrong with this recipe. A good hearty meal that's comforting and soothing. And folk, I'm not going to over talk it. I'm going to get my stuff together. And once I get my ingredients together, folk, I'll bring you right back. All right, folk, I'm back. Hey, okay, what I got here, you can see seasoning already on them, but I'm going to show you what I put in here. This is about 3 pounds of oxtails that I've cleaned, and I'm going to show you the seasonings on here. Okay, then I'm going to stir around. I got garlic powder. I got this brand of all-purpose seasoning, but you can use any all-purpose seasoning you like. Coarse black pepper. I've got enough hot water in here with some of this to make 2 cups of broth. I'm going to be adding some soy sauce for some umami flavor in there. I'm going to be adding some tomato paste for a little richness to the broth. I have a large onion chopped. I like a lot of onion. Use as much or little as you like. And I was out of fresh garlic, so hey, back up. Minced garlic. These are the ingredients. Oh, I'm also going to be using some browning seasoning. You can also use kitchen bouquet if you don't have browning. That adds richness. And then what I'm going to brown the oxtails in is some beef tallow. That's what I'm going to use to sear my oxtails. So as you can see, all I'm going to do is get these seasonings mixed all around on these oxtails. I'm going to pour that browning seasoning on there. It's just not a lot of the browning seasoning, just a little couple tablespoons, not a couple tablespoons, just about a quarter of a teaspoon, a half a teaspoon. That'll give it enough richness of color. And folk, once I get to the point to where I'm ready to to brown, I'll bring you back, folk. All right, folk, I'm back, and I got these oxtails all seasoned up with that browning. Folk, you can see how they look. If you can see the smoke wisping up out of there, you can see I got my Instant Pot on saute with some beef tallow in there. And if you can hear that, you can hear that little chisel. Now I'm going to get these oxtails in here to where I can get them seared off. I may be able to get all of it in here at once to do the sear. I don't want to overcrowd it. I think I'm going to just put one more right there. Save a little room. Let me see if I can get you up a little bit more. Yeah. I'm just going to go with that right there. So you can see I'm getting that saute going. And then, folk, as you can see, I'm not just going to keep you here while I saute it all. I just wanted you to see how I get started. And, folk, once I get these all sauteed, I'm going to flip them over after a few minutes to brown the other side. I'm going to flip them up on the sides to get saute on the sides. So no need in you sitting and watching all of that. I'm going to tell you about it. Then I'll show you what it looks like when I'm done. So, folk, hold tight. I'll bring you back. All right, folk, I'm back. As you can see, I'm done browning. You see all that down in the bottom? I'm going to pour my onions on that. Remember I said I had one large onion. I like a lot of onion. But that on the bottom, some people call it fancy. They call it fond. Some people call it yum-yums. Some people call it nice brownie bits. We're going to saute these onions right in that. Okay? I'm going to hold on to you for this process because this is almost the most important process. I don't care if you're cooking in an Instant Pot. I don't care if you're cooking in a cast iron Dutch oven on the stove, stainless steel, whatever you're cooking in, and you saute and sear something, you always want to get this up. always, because that's flavor. You started developing flavor, and why lose it? And make sure you get it mixed and incorporated into your dish, not just sitting there on the bottom. So as these onions sit there and sweat, they're going to start releasing their liquids. That liquid is going to help release those yum yums, as I like to call them. I'm not that fancy to call them fond all the time, but you get my drift. So we're going to continue just to let them saute a little bit, get them onions to start releasing their juices to help release those yum yums off the bottom. And to finish off, getting all of it off, we're going to add a little bit of our beef broth. But there's a couple more steps before we get to that. Now, at this point, I will not be adding any more seasoning. I'm going to let it cook seasoned as is. Then once the cooking process is done, I will taste and then season accordingly. I don't want to over season. You can always add, but you can't take out. But as you can see, we're starting to get color on these onions. It's starting to release that fond yum yums. We're going to let it go. And what we're going to add next to this is our tomato paste. Tomato paste, you want to cook off some of the rawness of it. Okay? Some people just put it straight in, but it helps when you're sauteing. I don't care if you're making spaghetti sauce or whatever or anything, to put your tomato paste in while you're sauteing something else to help cook off some of the rawness. Cooking off that rawness will take out the acidity of the tomato paste and leave you with the sweetness, rounded flavors of the tomato paste. So what I'm going to do here in a few seconds, and it won't be much, but if you can hear, the intensity of the sizzle is picking up because the onions are releasing their juices. Starting to be able to see some of that come up off the bottom. Like I said, this is going to be the longest part of the video, and hope you stick around just to check it out. Yep. As you can see, it's starting to come up. You can see, well, you can't see over there yet, but over here, you can see it start to come up a little bit. Now what I'm going to do, I'm just going to go on and add me some tomato paste. And I'm going to add about 1.5 tablespoons. That's what I added. About 1.5 tablespoons of tomato paste. I dropped a little bit on the counter. I'm going to flick it in. Now I'm going to get that tomato paste stirred in so it can cook some of that rawness off. Folk, we're not just trying to take one element to create flavor. We're taking several elements in this dish to develop flavor. That may sound like it's the same thing, but, developing something is giving it time, each ingredient its opportunity to shine. And right now, this is a tomato paste's opportunity to shine. Yep. So we're going to give it a few minutes to cook. And then the next thing we're going to add is our garlic. As you know, if you overcook garlic, it gets real bitter. So even though it's not fresh garlic, this minced garlic will do the same. So I'm going to add a few shakes of my minced garlic, as little as much as you like. I'm a person who, I'll show you what ingredients, but I'm not so tied to how much. You adjust these seasonings according to your taste and your life. Okay. We're going to let that go until I can start to smell the garlic. Once it rehydrates in some of that oil and those onion juices, I'll be able to smell it. And there it goes. So now what I'm going to do is add a little of what I created was my beef broth. I put enough of that beef paste in there to 2 cups of broth. So in there, I'll be adding another cup of water. But first, what I'm going to do is slowly add this so I can get them yum-yums off the bottom. That right there ought to do it. That right there ought to do it. Get that off the bottom. And then too, in an Instant Pot, you got to get that up, because if you don't, you will get a burn notice and your pot will shut off. So in an Instant Pot, there's 2 reasons why. You want to get it up to get that flavor up, but also you don't want to get a burn notice on your cook. Because if you leave it down there, the Instant Pot will detect it and give you a burn notice and shut off. But as you can see, look, we're coming clean. We're getting that all up. Look at that. It's creating that. Look at that flavor development that's happening. As you can see, it's coming up. It's coming up, folks. Yep. We about got it. We about got it. Yep. We about got it all up. And all of that is going to come right on back up into our dish. All that good flavor. Yep. By George, I think we've got it. Now what we're going to do, we're going to add our oxtails back in. I'm going to put the bigger ones on the bottom. I'm going to cut the saute off so I don't burn anymore. Get this in here. Get those in here. Get them all in there. Yep. Get them all in there. They're all happy. They're all happy. Now what I'm going to do is add the rest of this broth and 1 more cup of water, which will equal 2 cups of broth. Be right back once I get this water, folks. Okay. Got that water in there. Now I'm going to add 2 bay leaves. Add it or not. It's just in there because I said, hey, why not throw some bay leaves in there? We'll fish them out at the end. Got that like that. Now what I'm going to do, folks, get my lid on my Instant Pot. Mine automatically goes to seal, so I don't have to worry about that. We're going to come on down, if I can bring you with me. Hold on. Bear with me 1 second, folks. And I'm going to switch my Instant Pot to pressure cook. I'm going to hit this. I'm going to hit it again to where my number's blank. It's on high pressure. I'm going 55 minutes, folks. If you know anything about cooking oxtails, you're talking 3-4 hours slowly braising. But as you can see, I'm hitting 55 minutes. Start, on. I'm done for now. I'm done for now. So, folks, when we get done with this 55 minutes, I'm going to let it slow release without touching it for like 20 minutes. And then we'll open it up and I'll bring you back. So, folks, hold tight. All right, my YouTube friends and family. Hey, I'm back. Hey, I let it run at 55 minutes. I let it natural release all the way down. And that took like 35 minutes. So we're going to open it up first time and see what we got, folks. Oh, yeah. Oh, yeah. We're going to get down in here, see what that looks like, folks. Will you look at that? But what I want to show you is 55 minutes, folks. 55 minutes in the Instant Pot. Did you see that? Did you see that? Let's do this. You see this? It's hot, really hot. But look, you see that? Yeah. Extremely tender. Extremely. And you see how much broth you got in there? What I'm going to do is I'm going to go off here, taste the broth, see what additional seasoning I may need. adjust my seasoning. I'll let you know what I put in there. Then we're gonna get ready to thicken up this gravy. So folks, when I get ready, I'll bring you back. All right, folks, I'm back. As you can see, I got my broth up to a boil. Only seasoning I adjusted was, I adjusted some black pepper and a little salt. Now in this bowl here, I have about 3 tablespoons of all-purpose flour and water, making a slurry to thicken this gravy. Whenever you're making a slurry, make sure you use cold water so you can get this flour broken down and smooth. You don't want to leave any lumps. Who wants lumpy gravy? So what we're gonna do is pour some of this in, okay? Then stir it in, okay? And then we're gonna let it come back up to a boil, because that's when your thickening gets as thick as it's gonna get once it boils again. So we don't wanna add any more quite yet. We wanna let it simmer, come up to a boil, and get it thick to your desired thickness. If you want it thick as mud, then add more. If you want it a thin, add less. Or you could have left it like it was. I like to make my gravy a little thicker. So we're gonna see what we got here. As you can see, it's thickened up nicely. It's boiling again. I want a little bit more thick, just a tad. That's all I'm adding. And that's gonna be it. I'll get that stirred in. Get that stirred in. I'm trying not to break my oxtails all up because, you know, they're just that tender. All right. I'll let that boil for a little bit. Come up to the thickness that I want. And you know what? That's the one I'm gonna plate up right there. This one right here. It came right to me. Well, I said I was gonna plate it up, but look, we're gonna get that on that plate. I'm gonna try to find the other piece of it. I'm gonna find another one. Here we go. I got another little one here. I'm gonna plate that up, and I'm gonna get a little bit more of this gravy, and I'm gonna pour it over top. As you can see, and folks, that's a wrap for this. So now that I've gotten that done, I'm gonna cut this off my Instant Pot. I'm gonna get me a thumbnail shot, and then we're gonna do a taste test. So folks, I'll bring you right back. All right, folks, I'm back. Hey, I got these oxtails here plated up. If you can see them, folks, I just want you to see it. You know what? I'm gonna bring this right here to you. So hopefully you can see how tender this is. Look at that. Look at that, folks. Look at that. So tender. So tender. And you know what I'm gonna do? Even though it's hot, I'm gonna take one for the team. I'm gonna try to. And get me a bite, just like this. Finger looking good, folks. Oxtails in your Instant Pot, 55 minutes, not counting your sear time, 10 minutes sear time, so you're talking 65 minutes. You normally have to cook oxtails 3-4 hours to get them this tender. The flavor, the texture of the meat, the gravy. You can serve this with mashed potatoes, rice, egg noodles, biscuits, whatever you like to serve them with. Delicious, folks. Just simply delicious. In the description, there will be links for the browning seasoning and an all-purpose seasoning that I use. If you want to click on those links and get those on Amazon, I get a small commission off of those things, which at no extra cost to you, but helps me support this channel so I can continue to bring content. And folks, thank you for watching this video. I appreciate you subscribing, commenting, thumbs up, sharing, all of that. I really appreciate it a lot. And folks, make you some of these oxtails. You can't go wrong. And as I always say, until next time, keep on cooking.